sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. You see the sea. I'll see the sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. Shine, shine. sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. You see the sea. I'll see the sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. Shine.
Good afternoon and welcome to Edmonton, Canada's Festival City. I'm Sarah Ryan and I'm pleased to welcome you here to the Edmonton Expo Centre, where we have a battle between two Western Conference teams, the Edmonton Stingers and the Winnipeg CEBL. Now the Stingers come into this game on a hot streak. They have won 4 in a row, but their last loss, well, that came to them courtesy these very same CEBL. The CEBL really a decisive win back at the end of June in that one. For more analysis on our game, let's toss things over to Doug McLean and Patrick Erickson.
Thanks, Sarah. And yeah, I mean, Patrick, it's a tale of two teams that are both going pretty well. Winnipeg 6-2 in their last 8. The Stingers, after a 3-game losing streak, have found their stride. They've won 4 in a row. What are we looking for here this afternoon?
We might be in for a very high-scoring game. Both, as you alluded to, Doug, the arrows for both of these teams pointed distinctly upwards. Winnipeg, a high-scoring team, is going to pose a challenge to this 4-game Stingers winning streak. They are averaging over 104 points a game over the last 5, and they have a very familiar backcourt that we'll talk a lot about, I'm sure, as this broadcast goes on. But I would strap in for a very high-scoring contest.
We'll get to this as we go along. Scotty Lindsay not in the lineup today for the Edmonton Stingers, so that's going to certainly change things a little bit in terms of how they attack. And we'll get to the point, Xavier Moon not in the lineup as well for the Winnipeg CEBL. Let's take a look at the team stats for this matchup between the CEBL and the Stingers. Winnipeg, a team, I mean, 153 points on the positive side in terms of point differential. They've been really, when they win big.
They win big, and recently they've been winning even bigger. They've been winning by, over the last 5 games, an average of 12.6 points per game. To put that in context, Scarborough is the next highest margin over the last 5 games, and they've been winning by just over 5 points per game. So it's been quite incredible, and Stingers still certainly have their hands full tonight.
Let's go to Sarah, who's got Stingers head coach and general manager Jordan Baker.
All right, Coach Baker, in the first 2 meetings of the Stingers and CEBL, Winnipeg has taken both. How do you turn that around today?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to do a little bit of a better job taking care of the big 3, taking care of the basketball, not giving up any offensive rebounds, and then keeping them from getting out in transition, scoring some easy ones.
The Stingers have really been on a hot streak of late. What do you think has changed at this point in the season to allow you to be so successful?
I think we just got a group of guys that are starting to get used to one another, starting to play hard for one another. Only thing that's going to create that is time around each other. So, credit to that group over there that really have bought in and care about each other a lot.
Winnipeg has a CEBL legend in Teddy Allen. He has twice as many points as anyone else on this team. How do you defend that?
I mean, we just got to make life difficult for him. No easy looks, no opportunities when he gets a wide open shot or a wide open layup. That means we're not going to just defend him with one guy. It's with all 5, and we need to be aware of where number 8 is at all times.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck tonight. You're watching CEBL basketball on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. We'll be back right after this.
welcome back inside the Edmonton Expo Center. We're about 4+ minutes away from tip-off here between the Edmonton Stingers and the Winnipeg CEBLs. I'm Doug McLean, joined alongside Patrick Erickson and Sarah Ryan. And Patrick, you've identified some keys for tonight's game, presented by CDIC. Let's get to the ones first for the visiting CEBLs.
Sure, Doug, thank you. For the CEBLs, first and foremost, push the tempo. They have a high-octane backcourt led by Teddy Allen, the leading scorer. They've been attempting the second most field goal attempts in the league the last 5 games, and they should also be fresher than Edmonton. The Stingers have played 2 games in the last 4 days. Winnipeg has been off since June 30th, so their legs should be a little bit fresher. Also for the CEBLs, be active on defense. They're currently leading the league in steals, while the Stingers commit the 3rd most turnovers in the league, and that has manifested itself into 41 turnovers for the Stingers in the 2 matchups combined. CEBLs would like to see more of that. And finally, we know Teddy Allen's going to score, but getting others involved, and one of those is a former Stinger, Isaiah Osborne, trying to support him. Winnipeg is 5-1 since they've added the former Stinger, and in the one loss he had season lows in points, field goal attempts, and 3-point attempts as well. So trying to get Isaiah involved and help out Teddy Allen.
And now also presented by CDIC, the keys to the game for the home Edmonton Stingers.
For the Stingers, they're going to want to win the possession battle. I alluded to their turnovers against the CEBLs already, but overall in the league, they've lost the rebounding battle 9 of the 14 games they've played. However, in those 5 games, they've won the rebounding margin. They are 4-1, and trying to limit the amount of shot attempts that Teddy Allen and company can put up will certainly be helpful. Also, for the Stingers, avoiding the big run. 12 of their 14 games this season, the Stingers have allowed at least a 10-point run by the opposition, and the other 2 games were 8 and 9-point runs. Don't allow the opposition, in this case the CEBLs, to fall, put them way behind or let them back into the game. And finally, kind of to the point of the CEBLs, limit the secondary contributors. We know Teddy Allen's going to get his, but how many of his teammates can step up? If they can limit that, it would be a big factor in trying for the Stingers trying to get their first win against Winnipeg this season.
And just moments before we do get to tip-off, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First, for the Winnipeg CEBLs, they will go with Emmanuel Acott, Teddy Allen, Trey McGowans, Isaiah Osborne, and Jeremiah Tillman Jr. For the Edmonton Stingers, it will be Mackay Ashton Langford making his first start as a Stinger, Emmanuel Bandamel, Nick Hornsby, Isaac Jack, and Baz Davis Jr. And Patrick, you've also outlined a player to watch from each team. Let's start first with Jeremiah Tillman Jr. from Winnipeg.
Absolutely, and this is going to be a guard-heavy game, but we're going to talk about the front court players, starting with Jeremiah Tillman Jr.
Got to talk about the bigs.
Absolutely, got to get the big loves. I know that basketball has moved away from that, but we got to talk about him here. And it's going to, Tillman is a key to trying to take advantage of a smaller front court for Edmonton that's been in a lot of foul trouble. We saw what Tyrese Samuel did for Vancouver against Edmonton just a couple days ago. Winnipeg is 5-1 when Tillman scores in double figures. However, he is on a bit of a cold streak. Just 12 points in his last 4 games combined. They got to get him going, get some of that pressure off of those outstanding guards for the CEBLs.
Stingers continue to lead the league in fouls taken, 21.6 a game. Let's talk now about Trey King, your player to watch for the Stingers.
And the fouls is kind of a good allusion there to that is Trey King. He's kind of been that default center in the absence of Dane Danger and Isaiah Moore. It's been Trey King, although he's not starting tonight. The Stingers have used him with a lot of success in smaller lineups, but they need to keep him on the court. He's played on all 14 games for the Stingers, but in 10 of those games, he's picked up 4 or more fouls. They need him on the court to counter Tillman and these excellent guards.
Stingers will be in their home yellows. The CEBLs in their teal green. Tip-off is presented by Spalding, the official game ball of the CEBL. There's the crew chief Reed Scott with one of those lovely Spalding game balls. Nice crowd here on a Sunday afternoon here in the Alberta capital. Stingers looking to keep this winning streak alive. 4 straight coming into this one, as we mentioned. And a couple weeks ago, it would have been hard to consider this as a game that might have had implications in the standings. And here we sit now, Stingers 2 games back in Winnipeg with an opportunity to make some strides in terms of trying to maybe even look at a home playoff game.
Absolutely, and you never know, even keeping that 3 seed, if there's an upset that happens in the playoffs, you could end up with the home game later on. So every game is critical, and this, like I said, the Stingers arrow pointing upwards, as is the Sea Bears. Should be a great matchup here.
We're underway. Ashton Langford will bring it up for Edmonton, playing just his 3rd game as a member of the Stingers. Played this past season in Lithuania. Ashton Langford hard to the hole, takes some contact, hits the deck, no call. Here is Osborne, as Patrick mentioned, former Edmonton Stinger. 3 doesn't go. Davis Jr. with the rebound. Sees some space, goes right to the rim, and has it rejected by the previously mentioned Tillman Jr.
Right away there, he had Hornsby in the corner, but Davis has had so much success in the last few games with that, including 2 target score winners on similar drives. But good job by Tillman to rotate over.
It's certainly been an Edmonton team that has looked and has been attacking the rim far more aggressively over the course of the last couple of weeks than I think we saw earlier in the year.
Absolutely, there's less settling for shots.
Vandemel gets us going with a 3 from the wing.
Those are the shots you want in rhythm. Stingers have always been a good out of inbound play team there, and Vandemel makes no mistake.
Vandemel 36% from the 3-point line. Here's Teddy Allen. Misses his first 3, rebounded Jack. Isaac Jack making his first professional start here this afternoon. Hornsby finds Vandemel again for 3. That one a little bit short. Jack can't keep it alive. Here's McGowan's. Acott left open momentarily. He'll fire from 3 and knock it down.
And he can kind of be that X factor, only averaging a little under 9 points a game, but he has a lot of experience both in the collegiate and professional level, and he's kind of that underrated scorer for secondary scoring.
Ashton Langford from just beyond the elbow. Nice pull-up jumper.
That's what they're looking for, more backcourt scoring, and they're certainly hoping number 2 in yellow can provide that.
And the backcourt has been just a lack of depth, not so much a lack of talent, just maybe a lack of depth, and a lot of pressure put on the likes of Boursier and Tay Donald. So having Ashton Langford will give them a little more, gives Jordan Baker, as Tillman Jr. pots another, give Jordan Baker a few more options in the backcourt. Nice look to the cutting Isaac Jack from Ashton Langford.
Yeah, good there. He's been shooting 70% in the last few games as Isaac Jack.
Teddy Allen doesn't need a lot of time to get rid of it. Fires that one off. Nicely done by McGowan to keep it alive. Quickly up the floor, Vandemel. Nice feed, nice catch. Nick Hornsby.
Who else with the long pass? He's made a living as a Stinger out of those. Nick Hornsby, the goggles go up early.
Maybe a quarterback at some other point. Played at Sacramento State. Ricky Ray, of course, famous Sacramento State grad who played here in Edmonton, and Nick Hornsby maybe doing his best impression. Vandemel in and out, doesn't drop.
Still like the look though. Vandemel's been assertive early on after that early opening 3, couple other shots. They need him to continue.
There's a steal, and Davis Jr. in alone. Fires it down, and the Stingers with an 11-6 lead. We thought this game might be a bit of a track meet, and early on it looks like that's what we're going to get.
Absolutely, and just because the Sea Bears shots haven't been going down yet, they've been getting the looks, and the Stingers have been awesome on the other end, as advertised through 3 minutes.
Tillman Jr. takes a contact, and yeah, I thought there might be a foul call as Isaac Jack got his hands right across the wrists of Tillman Jr. Officials for today's game, crew chief, as we mentioned before, Reed Scott. He's joined by umpires Perry Stothard and Josh Carruthers. Substitutions in: Davis Jr. and Jack will take a seat. Tay Donald and Trey King coming in. I think that's a sign of maybe this growing depth and growing balance. The fact that Tay Donald able to come off the bench, and he's been very good the last couple of weeks. Trey King as well, has started most of the season. So a little bit of some change in the starting lineup, but that again might provide some benefit to how Jordan Baker can deploy his lineup.
Absolutely, he doesn't want to rest on his laurels. They're 4 wins in a row, but they're still just at 500, not probably where he'd want them to be at this time of year. And so trying to find those right combinations. Tay Donald was terrific against Vancouver the other day. And maybe Trey King protecting him from the first few minutes, having to go against Tillman. As we get our free chicken right off the bat here inside, the crowd loves it. But now Trey King, a shorter shift there, maybe keeps him out of foul trouble.
Tay Donald had 16 in that win on Friday over Vancouver, including the winning free throw in target score time. King on the floor off the side of the backboard, but he'll draw the foul on Trayvon Scott, who has checked in for the first time for Winnipeg.
Like that aggressiveness from Trey. He's been he's a very good three-point shooter, don't get me wrong, but it almost seems like he's been settling a little too much for that outside shot. Aggressive there, gets the reward at the free throw line.
First game coming off the bench this season for Trey King. Shooting at the line, he is a 69% free throw shooter on an Edmonton team that is 7th in the CEBL right now, just under 74%. They were the best free throw shooting team in the league a year ago, just shy of 80% in 2025.
Better at home by almost 11%.
But a team that does not get to the line a lot. Last in the league in free throw attempts per game at 18, and they only draw 17 fouls a game, which is 8th in the league.
And commit the most.
That's not usually a good mix when you commit the most and don't draw a ton. Scott guarded by Hornsby. Left alone momentarily, fires it off. Three doesn't go. Ashton Langford with the board. Bounce pass to the driving Mandeville, and you can see already what Ashton Langford can bring to this lineup.
Absolutely, and he hit the shot earlier, and they've been looking for kind of that facilitator in transition, and he's looked really, really good in the first 4 minutes.
Nice spin there. Good footwork by Tillman Jr. The Stingers with the ball back in quickly and up the floor with numbers. Hornsby. Just a step around, and Mike Rainbow's going to call a timeout. 17-8. The Stingers up. 5:44 to go from here at the Edmonton Expo Center. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. The Edmonton Stingers with a lead on the Winnipeg Seabears.
All right, coach, not happy. He called it weak. He said his team needs to wake up, and if they're not going to wake up, they can take a seat in the audience.
Oh, okay, well that's clear.
It's not mixed messaging.
No, that's yeah. Hey, you wanna get the message across. We'll see how they respond. This Western Conference game is presented by Cal Tire.
I think you saw that emphasis there when on the turnover that led to that early Baz Davis flush, nobody chased him in half court, and that kind of symbolizes the lethargic nature that the coach not happy with.
Mason Krause into the game for Winnipeg. Former Manitoba Bison we saw come in here and play against the Alberta Golden Bears. Spin, good footwork. Doesn't fall, and then Ashton Langford able to strip it away. Tay Donald quickly up the floor to Trey King. Finishes the fast break with a dunk. It's an 11-point Edmonton lead.
Coach Baker's going to love that. They've run the floor extraordinarily well.
Osborne, three, good, and that's what Isaiah Osborne can do. He can be that instant offense for you. King collects the rebound inside. The putback will not go. He does draw a foul, however.
Couldn't quite throw that alley-oop down, but good hustle, and he's had a good start. That's what you want to see. He's running the floor well, and without Tillman on the floor, he's coming right back into the game. He's looked very, very good as number 0 in yellow.
Isaac Jack checking in for Nick Hornsby as well.
Finally got Osborne going on that. That was his first shot attempt after the first shot of the game, and he pays dividends. Said he needed to get going for that secondary scoring, and with Alex surprisingly with 0 points so far. Got to get him going too, but Osborne, good to see.
King hits the first. Stingers 8 of 13 from the field. Winnipeg 5 of 12, but fast break points 8-0 right now in favor of Edmonton. And Winnipeg is a team that can run.
Yep. Now he said in the pregame it was one to watch. Their speed, but so far nothing.
And an offensive foul called against Tillman Jr., who is going to check out. No, he's going to stay in as Hildebrand comes into the game.
Both teams going bigger here. Tillman and Hildebrandt, King and Jack on the floor.
Donald against Kraus, 2 former U Sports players. Davis. King guarded by Hildebrandt. Back up top, here's Davis. Pull up 3, a little short. Rebound into the hands of McGowan's. Hildebrandt inside. I'm going to foul on Baz Davis Jr. with a push in the back on Jeremiah Tillman Jr.
Not a bad foul. He's probably going to get taken to the rim on the next move anyway, so might as well reset there. Just the first foul for Davis.
First foul for Davis, team second. Winnipeg sitting on 3 team fouls with 4:21 to go. McGowan's to Allen. Loses it, and it goes out of bounds, I think off of Trey King. It will remain Winnipeg ball.
I'm not sure if that was Jack or King that got that on the way up, but either way, a different look than we've seen from the Stingers all year. That's more size than we've seen on the court, and it's paying off right now.
The guy that normally plays quite a bit inside, and Nick Hornsby on the bench right now. McGowan's to his left, off balance. That's going to be a foul. See if that goes on Davis Jr. or on Bandamel. Yeah, it is on Davis Jr., so that will be his second. And it's going to be a 2-shot foul. Nuga to check in for Davis Jr. No, they're going to say it's a 3-shot foul now.
Mark that down. Stingers up 10 points at 4:15 of the first quarter. We might not see Baz the rest of the half. How much does that impact him? Just into the starting lineup, and now he's got to go sit.
McGowan's one of the better free throw shooters in the league, tied for 3rd with teammate Teddy Allen at 91%.
Not a team you want to send to the line at all.
Second best free throw shooting team in the CEBL, 81%. Hits all 3, and that cuts the deficit for Winnipeg to 7. Here's Donald. That's going to be an over and back. Follow at CEB League on all social platforms to stay up to date on stats, storylines, and more for all 10 teams in Canada's Pro Basketball League.
Those little things right there is what the Stingers can't afford to let the Sea Bears back into the game. Just a little lack of concentration there after the 3-shot foul.
Downs goes right through traffic, but a nice job by Isaac Jack to keep his feet relatively stable.
Relatively, yeah.
No call. I've seen it called, I've seen it not called.
Sure.
That time they let it go. Here's Donald for 3. That's in and out. Halfway down, pop back out, and McGowan's up the floor for Winnipeg. Now Allen, guarded by Bandamel. Goes at Isaac Jack, and the nice kiss off the glass.
First basket for Allen. It took him 6.5 minutes, but finally on the scoreboard there. And let's see if he gets going. The league's leading scorer. quiet early.
And only a 5-point deficit despite his lack of offense here early. Donald to his left. This is a screen from Jack. Tries to kiss it off the glass. Doesn't go. Isaac Jack with the offensive board with the foul first, and that's going to go on Tillman Jr., and I believe that will be his second, team's fourth. That will bring DJ Burns into the lineup for Winnipeg. So a couple players in some early foul trouble, and Jeremiah Tillman Jr. and Baz Davis Jr.
And in comes DJ Burns, and that gives us a small chance to talk about kind of the connection between here. DJ Burns, a graduate of Youngstown State in the NCAA, and Eric Fawcett, an assistant for the Stingers, has done some consultation work, including the final season of DJ's career. So wonder if there's some scout report that's gone on there, that free throw miss. But yeah, it might be a little familiarity there for Coach Baker getting from one of his assistants.
DJ Burns, native of New Orleans. This is his sixth appearance as a member of the Sea Bears. Ball out of bounds. It will be Edmonton ball. Teddy Allen sees it roll off of him and out. Thought he got fouled.
Really good defense by Trey King, though, active. That's what he gets when he's not having to play in that 5 spot. He's allowed to use that length that can bother Allen and other high volume shooters.
Vandermill, Jack up top, guarded by Hildebrand. That's not really where you want Isaac Jack handling the basketball as it's stripped by Trey McGowan's. Inside to Burns, kick out Allen. 3 off the mark. Tie-up between Jack and Burns. A couple players on the floor previously coached by Dave Smart and Isaac Jack and Isaiah Osborne. Isaac Jack at Pacific, Isaiah Osborne at Carleton. It's going to remain Winnipeg ball.
Neither Jack or Burns wanted to get that ball up about 30 seconds after the whistle.
No, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whichever the way the arrow points is who's getting it. Oh, that'd be kind of fun if we did that. It's just like a wrestling match for the ball. I don't know.
I think my wager would have been on Isaac Jack there.
That might have been my bet too, but Allen fouled. They're going to give him. Thought it might be on the ground, but they're going to give him in the act of shooting. It's going to be a hold on Vandermill.
Kind of a little bit choppy after such a fluid start. Sea Bears shots weren't falling, but they were getting good looks, and the Stingers put up a quick score, but it's kind of fizzled out a little bit here in the last couple game minutes.
Since that tempo, I mean, anything you're noticing different in terms of how Winnipeg's trying to maybe not so much slow the tempo down, but at least try to readjust it a bit?
I think they have slowed it down a little bit, almost out of necessity, because it wasn't working as quickly as they were going. And part of that is they're not getting missed shots on the other end. It's really hard to get out and run like you would like to if you're not getting turnovers and rebounds. Ashton's back into the game, but yeah, I think the Sea Bears have made a little bit more concerted effort to get the ball into the paint as well.
Ball has to cross half from the baseline inbound. Here is Ashton Langford, guarded by Osborne. Screen from Adong McCoy into the game for the first time here in Edmonton as a member of the Stingers. Actually, I stand corrected. He played 1 game already here. Shot missed there by Ashton Langford. Cal Tire, proud partner and tire expert of the CEBL. Shop top tire brands and have peace of mind with Cal Tire's price match guarantee. Shop and book at caltire.com. Burns puts it on the floor. At McCoy. Turnaround doesn't fall. Rebound King.
Really impressed with the interior defense so far for Edmonton. Not the first time. They've rotated over well. They've kept those hands high and not leaning. Haven't really committed too many fouls in there, and they've forced a lot of missed shots from what should be pretty easy range.
And a Winnipeg team that likes to get downhill, Edmonton's done a decent job of at least diverting that traffic a little bit in the paint. Travel call on Nuga, so that will turn the ball over to Winnipeg. Turnovers right now 4-3 in favor of Edmonton. Osborne picked up by Nuga, step back jumper, doesn't go. Rebound Winnipeg, and I thought it might have been off of Ashton Langford, but they're going to give it to Edmonton with a minute 36 to go as Hornsby will come into the game.
And now trying to find that little bit of a rhythm. Who better to bring back than one of the best passers in CEBL history. Now Winnipeg trying to use a little bit of press as well.
Ashton Langford finds Nuga inside to King, guarded there by Allen. Goes right at Allen. Turnaround jumper, good for Trey King.
That is a pretty looking turnaround jump shot. You don't see that too much from big guys anymore.
And another foul. We're going to take a look at Trey King inside. That work on the inbound, on the entry from Nuga. Just a little fade away from middle of the lane.
Go turn on 1990s basketball. You see that move a lot.
See a lot more of that. Teddy Allen earns himself a trip to the line. The Stingers thought he was in the act of passing and not shooting when he got fouled. He'd be at the line regardless, as the Stingers are in the penalty, but so they did correct it, because initially Perry Stothard did indicate 3 free throws, but he is at the line because the Stingers in the penalty, just to confirm that. And Allen, after hitting those two, will sit down Mason Krause into the game.
It's about as quiet of a 4 points as you could ever imagine from Teddy Allen, but his team only down 5.
Hornsby. Ashton Langford, screen from King. There's a matchup inside on Krause. They haven't found it yet. Hornsby on the floor, going at Acott. Gets Acott to almost bounce off him. It opens up some space, and Hornsby's really developed that in his game the last couple of years, that ability just to create space for himself with no real evident push-off. McGowan's nice crossover. Finds a cutting Burns. And he'll finish with the layup.
Trey McGowan's coming in needing 6 assists to set the single season record for the Sea Bears. Now 5. That was a great play.
Donald looking on Acott. Kicks it out. It is turned over into the hands of McGowan. Here's McGowan's. Goes at Ashton Langford. He'll draw the foul. Ashton Langford thought he went pretty straight up.
So do I.
From his vantage point.
I don't know what more you can do except for get out of the way, but
pretty tough in transition in that 2-on-1. We'll get a look at it coming right at you. I mean, again, one of those ones I can see it. That's a tough call for the official. That's really tough. If it had been let go, I would have been in a position to say that made sense too. So
if it's not transition, I think that call might not get called, but you usually see that more often. But
fair enough, yeah.
It happened, and the turnovers, what they should be kicking themselves about.
Yes. Under 10 to go, shot clock is off. Ashton Langford going right at Krause, tried to go high off the window, hit the side of the backboard. Now Burns pull up, and that 3 is short, and that is where things will end. 26-23, the Stingers up on the Sea Bears. Winnipeg pushing back later in that second quarter, or that first quarter. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Welcome back to the Edmonton Expo Center, where after 10 minutes of play, the Edmonton Stingers hold a 26-23 lead on the Winnipeg CEBL. It was a lead pattern that at one point was 11. And that timeout definitely seemed to change the momentum a little bit here midway through that first quarter.
The timeout definitely did, so the message got through, but I would also say that Baz Davis picking up that second foul as well. It was 21-11 Edmonton when that happened. You can do the math. That's 12-5 since then. They were +7 with Baz on the court, and they are -7 with them off the court.
It's become a big factor with this Stinger lineup, and remains on the bench with those 2 fouls. King working on DJ Burns. Ashton Langford kicks it up top. King for 3. That one drops for Trey King. Leads this team in 3-point percentage, just under 45.
Now 11 points for him. He's been excellent so far off the bench.
Bench points 11-2 so far in this game. Got to McGowan's extra pass. Kroos to his right, resets. That shot off the mark will go out of bounds off of DJ Burns. Burns thought he got held, no call.
Interesting to see how long they leave Vanderbilt on the bench. He's been the other one there, +5 with him on the court as well, and he's their second leading scorer, but getting a well-deserved breather. But for how long, especially with Davis in that foul trouble?
Hornsby. DJ Burns shot well defended there by Burns as those two battle down the court. Here's Osborne to his right into the lane. Kick out, Acott. Good with the 3, Emmanuel Acott.
Great take by Osborne, drew 2 defenders on him, and then the easy kick out.
Hornsby, that 3 won't drop. Rebound for McGowan's. Comes it inside to Burns against the smaller Donald. Off the glass and in.
Good pick out there, unfortunately, Donald. It's not a match he's going to win too often in that location.
Ashton Langford now with Burns on him into Hornsby, guarded by Acott. Shot up, doesn't drop. He'll draw the foul on Emmanuel Acott and head to the line.
That kind of summarizes Nick Hornsby there. He just kind of creates something out of nothing, like you're saying, became a great shot creator, and there he drew the contact at the very least. What looked like a dead play, now a chance to get back at the line, but this lead has shrunk all the way to 1.
Ryan coming back into the game. He is chasing down 1,500 points in his CEBL career. He would become just the 5th player in the league to do so, and he also stands to be the fastest to climb that mountain. If he can knock down those 35 points this season, he is certainly on track for that. He's averaging a monster 25 points per game.
It has been, a player that had a great earlier aspect to his CEBL career, out of the league for a little bit, spent some time in Saskatchewan with the Rattlers, now back with Winnipeg, and it seems to have just clicked again for him this year.
Yeah, it has, and he's looked really good in the level, and he's doing more in scoring. He leads the team in rebounding, steals, he's second in assists. So he's a more holistic player than he's been in the past. He's also been tearing it up in the G League, and I would not be surprised if he gets a cameo in the top league in the world a little after that. Great play, and then the foul after there. Hard one.
Alley-oop look to Hildebrandt on that baseline cut. And it's going to be a head contact foul on Mike Nuga, which will send Simon Hildebrandt to the line. Hildebrandt, a Winnipeg native who spent 2 very successful years with the University of Manitoba Bisons before heading to High Point, played in the NCAA tournament with High Point. And then this past season with a little closer to where we are here in Pullman, Washington, with the Washington State Cougars.
Had good success there, and that wasn't on the High Point team that you might have heard of from this last NCAA tournament, but he was the team that put them on the map with their first ever appearance.
That's right.
Always hard to get noticed at those small schools sometimes, and he's done an excellent job.
Good job defensive there by Osborne to steer Nuga a little further to his right, I think, than he wanted, and now Allen quickly up the floor, Bandamel on him. Goes right into the heart of the Stinger defense. Comes out with the basketball, but turns it over into the hands of Bandamel. Hildebrandt, good hustle back to take numbers away. Bandamel, though, does draw the foul. I think this is going to go on Osborne, and they're going to rule a shooting foul as he gathered.
It's something I've noticed in the last few games, especially has been that they've allowed a little bit more of that continuation. You saw it a lot in the Calgary and Sask games when they were here at the Expo Center, and that's maybe another example. Do want to shout out Bandemill there. I'm pretty sure he's the one that blocked that shot. He definitely came up with the steal, and he goes all the way down and gets that there. That is a nice little box score line for Bandemill.
Yeah, Manuel Bandemill has been just steady all season. Probably if you look from opening tip of the season to now, probably the steadiest member of the Stingers roster. Of course, players have come and gone, but he's been here from day one and has had an outstanding year. Misses that free throw, comes back, and then, hey, I'm just going to step back a few feet, knock down a longer one.
4 points, 1 steal, 1 block, about 10 seconds.
Gowans tried to find, I think, Trayvon Scott, and then Ashton Langford comes up with that ball. Muhammad into the game for Edmonton. That one a little errant. Isaac Jack with the rebound, and another run by Edmonton forces a timeout called by Mike Rainbow. Edmonton with a 37-31 lead with 7:04 to go here in the second quarter from the Edmonton Expo Center. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Jam, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Early timeout called by Mike Rainbow. 7:04 to go here in the second quarter from the Edmonton Expo Center. It's a 6-point Stingers lead over the Sea Bears. Doug McLean along with Patrick Erickson and Sarah Ryan.
Thanks, Doug. Yeah, Coach Rainbow, a different timeout this time. Obviously happy with his team's performance, but said they cannot be giving up rebounds unnecessarily off of free throws. He said they need to box out and control their own key.
New Era is the exclusive game uniform partner of the CEBL and all 10 of its teams from coast to coast. Pick up your official replica jerseys now by visiting CEBL.ca. Noticing a few Xavier Moon Stingers jerseys around here, maybe thinking he was going to be in the lineup for Winnipeg today, but not the case. McGowan's hard taking. He's Ashton Langford, and a nice finish by the former Stinger, Trey McGowan's.
Well, one former Stinger's not in that uniform, is in the building, but there's another one making up yet what I would classify, and he would probably say, not a great turnover on the possession prior, but a great take there by McGowan's.
10 games played back in 2024 with the Stingers, 15 points, just over 4 rebounds a game in that time, but he has had an outstanding year so far with Winnipeg, 14 points a game. Leads his team in assists at 6.3 a game. Bandemill to Hornsby, quick crossover, goes right around Teddy Allen with that quick little cross. Hornsby's got 8. Allen to Hildebrandt, guarded by Jack. 5 on the shot clock. Trayvon Scott working against Bandemill. He's going to have to get something up. Tries to go underneath Bandemill. He had made that harder than he actually needed to. Nonetheless, Stingers come away with the defensive board. Ashton Langford to his left. Stops at the elbow. Back to Muhammad. 3 goes for Abdul Muhammad, whose minutes have been limited, just 5.3 a game. 17% from the three-point line on the year, but knocks that one down for Edmonton. He's up the floor again with the basketball. He'll slow things up, leaves it for Hornsby. Bandamel. That three is good for Edmonton, and they've now built up another 11-point edge. McGowan's off balance. Two Stingers come down with the rebound. You've got Bandamel and McGowan's both down. They check to see if they're each okay. Hornsby turns it over. Scott to Hildebrand. Finds Allen. Quick look at a three. That one off the mark, right out of his hands. And then the foul, and maybe a frustration foul on Trey McGowan's, as Abdul Muhammad.
I mean, what a shift. Besides that three-pointer, that's 3 rebounds on the last 4 possessions. And the other rebound he had, but Isaac Jack took it away from him. So great little shift from someone who doesn't see the court, but you'll see it more if you keep playing like that.
Abdul Muhammad comes in and makes an impact. He will take a seat. We'll reset the lineups here. Hornsby, Donald, Bandamel, King, and Davis Jr. in for Edmonton. Krause, Acott, Allen, Burns Jr., and Nathan Balamu into the game for the first time as well here today for Winnipeg. Hornsby finds Tay Donald. Gets stopped up, and that's going to be a travel as he worked against Nathan Balamu. Hamilton native, played at Lakehead. Those two would know each other from their OUA days. Burns Jr., good strong take right to the rim.
He's getting a lot of good minutes off the bench with Tillman in foul trouble. It's a couple of good takes and some rebounds. He was one of those subs that came in response to what was, before that basket, a 14-3 Stingers run.
Good look there, and a nice job there by Trey King just to seal off Burns enough to collect that pass and open himself up to spin to the rim. Offensive rebound put back on the weak side. Timeout called by Jordan Baker with 4:10 to go and a 9-point Stinger lead, and you get the sense Jordan Baker maybe wanting to limit what he saw in that first quarter, where Winnipeg, with plays like that, missed offensive rebound or a box out assignment, leads an offensive rebound, leads to a score. Coach Baker maybe trying to limit those going forward.
Interesting, I'd say all 3 timeouts that have been called too for Winnipeg, and that one right there have come off the heels of giving up some offensive rebounds. It's just something you can't do at a professional league, is give too many second chance points. But to your point, Jordan Baker not wanting, what was a 21-11 Edmonton lead at one point, and it was tied up at 31. But now that it's kind of gone back out to 9 points, he wants to keep this momentum heading into the half. You know, you still got a lot of game to that point, but it would be a real big feather in the cap. And you got to take advantage of the fact that Teddy Allen is not shooting the ball well right now, and that's probably not going to be the case for the whole game.
Allen 1 of 6. 1 of 6 right now. We're 4:10 away from half, but coming up at the break, the CDIC Top Defensive Plays of the Month. Sarah will interview Winnipeg head coach Mike Rainbow. We'll look at the first half numbers, as well as Patrick's players to watch, all coming up at halftime. But lots of action here yet to go in the second quarter. As mentioned, Teddy Allen 1 of 7, I correct myself, so far in this game. Offensive rebound 6-5 in favor of the Sea Bears.
Baz Davis back onto the court with those 2 fouls. See if he can stay out of that third.
Here is Davis Jr. finds Donald left open for 3. Knocks it down.
In that timeout there, Coach Baker just saying he wants to see the Stingers play better one-on-one defense. Their help side defense has been actually not bad this game, better than previous games, but he wants to see one-on-one.
Yeah, of course, a team like Winnipeg, just matchup challenges all over the place, and that ability to guard the guy in front of you becomes just so important. Tay Donald, another look at a 3 on the feed from Hornsby, ball tapped out. Balamu nearly lost it, but Burns will collect it, finds Teddy Allen. And will draw a foul and will head to the line, and Allen a little bit frustrated.
A good foul, they knew that was going to happen, and then the second hand came in there, make sure he doesn't get that shot off. Don't want him to see a couple of those field goals go through the net, because usually it just takes 1 or 2 for a scorer of that talent, and things start to come alive. He's even looked a bit shaky at the free throw line. He's 3 for 4, but a couple of those have been almost misses as well.
Allen knocks down the first. In this run, the 6-2 run they've been on in their last 8 games, Allen averaging 31 points and 8.5 rebounds. So he has been, to no surprise, a big catalyst in that stretch. And yet they still have not really been able to pull away in the West.
Well, Vancouver got off to such a flying start. Sask has kind of been at that 500 level all year. Now the Stingers coming back from 3-7, now back even. West has turned into a dogfight.
As Davis Jr., nice cut to the middle of the lane, nice find from Nick Hornsby. Yeah, both the Sea-Bears and the Bandits sitting at 9 and 5, and the Stingers again just trying to keep in touch with those teams. And Baz Davis Jr. is going to pick up his 3rd.
Did not need to make that play. It's more important than giving up those 2 points is having one of your best guards, if not your best guard, out on the court. And that is certainly going to be it for Davis for maybe even to mid-3rd quarter, depending on how Coach Baker wants to play it. On a normal circumstance, you don't mind that foul, but you got to understand game situation.
And I think it's one of those plays where you can sort of see it happening in slow motion. You can tell he recognizes it. It was open space, no help coming, one-on-one with Allen coming right at him. And it's a tough situation to sort of, and he tried to sort of step himself out of the way a little bit, but by the time he did, the contact had already happened, and Allen had drawn the foul and earned himself a trip to the line where he hits both free throws.
Yeah, I got nervous as soon as I saw Allen with that ball. I don't think that's the matchup they wanted. That was a good switch, though, by the Sea-Bears. Really good heads up if that was indeed the plan, to get a very key player off the court.
Donald around traffic. Oh, good block there by DJ Burns. Meets Trey King on the nice feed from Tay Donald. Kraus finds Acott, who will reset things with 14 on the shot clock. Out of Kraus, lob inside. Maybe a bit of a force there by Kraus, and now Vanderbilt the floor. Finds a streaking Tay Donald, gets around Kraus. Nice up and under by Tay Donald.
Now, we haven't seen that transition game for a little bit for the Stingers. That was a good get out and go there. Up 12.
Burns. Bit of a force again there in traffic to Acott. He's got to make something happen here with the clock winding down. Fadeaway jumper won't go, tipped out, and then Kraus finds Osborne. Steps around Hornsby, and then Isaiah Osborne connects on the 3, and timeout called by Edmonton.
Another one of those danger moments there with that 3. 9-point lead, but that can evaporate quickly in the pro game with the 3-point shooting as good as it is there. And so I think it's a good time for coach to use that. Can't take it with you into the second half. You might as well stop the run where it's at right now. Still a good 9-point lead.
And we heard Sarah talk from that last timeout, Jordan Baker saying, hey, we've got, just how we're defending one-on-one has to improve. But one of the big challenges with this Sea-Bears team, as we've talked about, is just the depth they've got, the scoring ability, and that just creates matchup problems all over the place. So how do you manage that from a help side perspective in terms of how you support? Because it's not an easy task, and you're seeing some of the challenges defensively for Edmonton.
Yeah, and I think as Coach had told, or Sarah heard from Coach before, I think their rotational defense has been good, and that's it. And you can kind of see with the way the ball has stopped a lot of the time for the Sea-Bears, they're taking a lot of forward shots, so the rotation is good. It's a lot of communication. It's a lot of making sure you don't get beat by that initial screen where then you're playing catch up the rest. I think we saw early in the season, there's a lot of times the Stingers were just trying to chase the ball, and eventually the ball's going to move one pace too fast for you, and you give up an open 3. Most part, they've done a pretty good job today. I would agree with what Sarah said in the last time out. This is probably the best rotational defense I've seen from Edmonton all year long.
Well, and again, in an era where the three-point shot is so important, I'm looking down the numbers here in terms of Winnipeg's three-point shooting, and they've got, just by my quick count, 7 players shooting in around and above 35%, with numerous players above 40. I mean, it's a shooting gallery for the 3rd best three-point shooting team in the CEBL, who collectively are at 37%. King, little runner, doesn't go, but he'll draw the foul.
Trey King having the best half of his Stinger career, I think. With this, he's shot it well from outside. He's shot it well and taken it hard to the hole. He's played, knock on wood, really good defense without getting himself into foul trouble, and he's back at the line here to try to reestablish this lead, or double-digit lead, I should say.
Stinger's 55% right now from the field, well above their season average. They're just under 46% on the year, good for 5th in the league. Last year, we're just slightly ahead of that, 46.5%, which put them 3rd in the CEBL. And also right now, 50% from the three-point line.
Without Scotty Lindsey.
Exactly, who came out of, when he re-entered the CEBL this year with the Stingers, just was shot out of a cannon from long range, and it has been a struggle in about the last 4 or 5 games for him from the three-point line. But out today for Jordan Baker. Aycott working hard against Bandamel.
Great take.
And then he's going to pick up the technical.
That kind of summarizes where the heads of the Sea Bears have. There's been a lot of heads hanging when they head to that bench. I'm sure they didn't expect this to be an easy game, but I also don't think they expected the Stingers to be up double digits most of the game as we take a look at that last play.
It is good. I mean, it's good work by Aycott, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good battle underneath, but right there, the scream and the chirp right in the face of Bandamel draws the technical foul. And Winnipeg native Emmanuel Aycott picks up the technical. That's his 2nd foul.
That's big too. He's got a couple. Trayvon Scott's got a couple. And Tillman's got a couple. They're front quarter. Aycott's kind of one of those hybrid 3-4 players, but a lot of their big bodies are in foul trouble right now. And that is a story we haven't talked a lot about. That could be a problem, especially the way Trey King is playing.
Great find inside there from Tay Donald. And Tay Donald as well just looks like a player, even the last couple weeks, that has just kind of, his game has just calmed down, and maybe just the fact he's coming off the bench just settles things out a little bit for him. But he just looks like he sees himself now as a full-on pro player. Yes. And I'm not sure that has always, and that, I don't say this disrespectfully, but as a player coming out of U Sports, it takes a while to get into that realm. He had a really good year in Finland, and you can just tell, like, that pass there, he set it up. Great look inside, leading Bandamel to ultimately getting fouled.
No assist though, because both free throws missed.
Quickly up the floor, Allen finds Kraus. McGowan looking against Donald. That's going to be a foul on Tay Donald. And that's going to be a technical on Tay Donald as well.
Should be, including the technical and that foul. I believe that's 3 on him. And if that is the case, now you've got, and Ashton has 2 fouls. So those are your 3 guys you would probably say are your point guards. They're all, that is 3 on Donald. They're all going to be sitting for a while in trouble right now. It's getting a little bit out of hand here in the last minute and a half. You can tell there's not a lot of love lost between a lot of these players.
No, certainly enough connections between these rosters, and I think the contention on the part of Donald initially, and I'm not saying it's right, the contention was McGowan's was going down already. Lost his footing a little bit and went down.
Agreed.
So whether that, I mean, regardless, for Edmonton, we saw this a few weeks ago in the game against Scarborough, where Scarborough's level of frustration elevated, and for some reason Edmonton started to match that for absolutely no reason.
Correct.
And Edmonton kind of in the same boat here right now. A 9-point lead. You don't need to be. You don't need to add to the challenges that you're facing in this Winnipeg CBears roster. No. So not a great decision there by Tay Donald after the initial foul.
Now you got Ashton Langford back on the court. He's going to play the last 43 seconds. If there's anything that the Stingers have to do is he cannot pick up foul number 3 in this last couple of possessions. Already down Davis and Donald.
Both teams in the penalty. Vandemel to his left, working against Osborne. Well defended by Osborne. Hornsby will draw the foul.
Now you got everyone asking for calls from around, and
hey, well, yeah, that's exactly it. That's kind of how this has now been set up, and so
the reins have been tightened.
Yeah,
and
Teddy Allen may have gotten away with one there.
Yeah. Now he's got 2 as well, though. So we've got a lot of foul storylines to watch in the second half.
Not necessarily what we want to be talking about.
Nope.
But nonetheless, Hornsby at the free throw line. Nick Hornsby 81% at the line so far this year with the Stingers. He's had a very good season in Indonesia.
He's a well-traveled man.
Absolutely. Played with Hangta in Jakarta. (59-50) the Stingers lead with 26 to go, so will be a 2-second differential shot clock and game clock. So we'll see if the Seabears do hold. Anticipate they will just kill time for the final shot. Ashton Langford guarding McGowan's. Now Allen picked up by Vandemel. Allen steps back. And it's going to be a travel first on Teddy Allen.
If it wasn't, it was a 3-shot foul.
Yeah, he was trying to draw contact and did. Balamu will check in for Teddy Allen. Ashton Langford back to Hornsby. Gets it off. To count it had it gone, but it will not go, and that is where things will end through one half of play. 59-50, the Stingers up on the Winnipeg Seabears. And credit to Winnipeg for punching back a couple times, but I think also for Edmonton for withstanding that and not letting Winnipeg chip back in, especially in that second quarter after they let them back into the game in the first.
Absolutely, and it was 31-31 early in the second, and you start to wonder, start to worry if you're a Stingers fan, a coach player, here comes what we thought might happen, but then they pushed it back out to double figures, and but for a couple of unnecessary fouls and free throws, they'd be holding a double-digit lead, and they almost do heading into half. So yeah, I think it's one of the more technical foul aside, mature halves we've seen from Edmonton this season.
And let's go to Sarah Ryan with Stingers player Emmanuel Vandemel.
Emmanuel obviously just coming off the court. He's wiping the sweat away. He's been working hard. 16 points, 3 for 3 from the three-point line. What's working for you today?
I mean, I think it's just about letting the ball come to me and, just trusting my teammates to follow me. And, I work on this every day, so it's just a matter of being ready whenever it's my turn. So that's about it, really.
The Stingers seems to have a lot of depth right now. 6 players with more than 100 points on the season. You're one of them. Why is that critical to your success?
I mean, for us, it's really important to, have multiple chests on the court. So, that's how we are. Like, it's a kind of like our stuff, being the mob, being sure that, everybody's a check on the court. And, that's what wins basketball games at the end of the day.
This game really slowed down in the second quarter, but in the first, it was a rush, very fast paced. That seemed to serve you well. Do you like that?
Yeah, I know. I adapt to pretty much everything in the game. If we're about to play fast, I can play pretty fast. If we got to slow it down and be more stable, I can do that as well. But I definitely love to play fast, for sure.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time. Good luck in the third quarter.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. You're watching CEBL basketball on CBC Gem, CEBL Plus. We'll be back right on the other side of this break. Stingers 59, Seabears 50.
House fighting the edge on Krause. Krause with the block, and Tillman able to corral it. Here comes Teddy Allen in transition. Dishes it out to Osborne for 3. Boomsies. And that'll draw a timeout from Vancouver.
Great play in transition by Winnipeg right there. Anytime it seems when Osborne could get his feet set, he just knocks it down.
Out of the hands of Scarborough, 2-on-1. Notice right to the cup. Met nicely by Powell. And Frank Mitchell is going to be uncontested for a two-handed slam with a little bit of extra mustard on now.
Good possession out of the timeout for Edmonton with Scotty Lindsay making the three. Now Bediako swarmed in the paint. He wants the foul, but no whistle on that sequence. Vanderbilt driving the lane and a 5-0 run.
There's Teger Eze setting the screen, wearing number 20, catches the pass, goes up, he's stopped at the rim by Warrens in a shot clock violation. A great stop there by the undersized Warrens, going up and getting the block of the big man.
Vertically challenging, I love that.
And that is denied. Here comes Lou Williams, the third interception. Kennedy, 3-on-2 for the Riverlions. Hollis, Kennedy, looking through, up and over. And the forensic finish, courtesy of the Riverlions.
Excellent left-handed tip-in right there by former Montreal Alliance player Curtis Hollis.
Here comes Vanderbilt and the gallop on his flank around Bukal. Denied by Bukal. Rebounded right back over towards Davion Warren in the game for the first time today. Warren gets his first 2 points, and remember, he's had quite success playing here for Dunn as an alliance member and other teams.
Correct. Both teams have brought it down to their bench early, and both teams.
17 on the shot clock. Harbin has to inbound, gets it into Davinsky, slips, and Allen gets a hand on that one. Up ahead to him, and an easy two for the former MVP, who's also a guy you mentioned, does it in all categories and averages a couple of steals a night.
Correct.
Trying to get through and slither his way up. Twist and turn, looking, waiting, positive movement, denied by second. And Gurrier fell by Hildebrandt. And that was the second team foul on Winnipeg.
McGowan's got himself 2 feet in the paint, but excellent discipline from Michael Hughes, standing his ground, not going for the pump fake, having a nice block defensively. The Alliance going the other way. Offense, there it is right there.
Couple of dribbles, and he finds Smart. Smart attacking. That one's batted around, and Jones the other way in a hurry, and a thunderous one-handed flush. Tevian Jones has 8.
Powell trying to change that, and they wanted to call no foul. Play on. They're letting them play early on here tonight in Scarborough.
More blocks than buckets so far.
East.
Yeah, but look, they run transition, and what do you do against the big? You attack, but this is a nice left-handed block.
Doug McLean joined alongside Sarah Ryan and Patrick Erickson. And Patrick, as we start to take a look at some of the highlights from the opening half, both teams kind of shot out of a cannon to start, and then the game sort of slowed down. Second quarter kind of ramped up a little bit again. Both teams very strategic in timeout usage, and then the end of the quarter, it was foul, mayhem, and technicals, and it really ground to a halt. So kind of everything we saw throughout that first 20 minutes.
Yeah, everything. That's a tale of 4 halves inside of 1 half. But it's been a tale of balanced scoring as well for both teams. You got Trey King and Emmanuel Bondemail, both with 16 points apiece. Nick Hornsby, that's about as quiet of a 10 points as I can remember Nick having. And then despite Teddy Allen, 1 for 7 from the field, he's got 10 points. And they've got 2 players in 10 and another with 9. So it's been very balanced scoring. I wouldn't say the ball movement's been great, especially for Winnipeg, but it has certainly been entertaining, and it's been weird, I guess is the way you'd say. Like, this is not, I don't think, how either team, the coaching staff would have drawn it up in the locker room. I'm sure they're trying to adjust right now, but it has certainly been a game of mini runs for sure, especially that second quarter.
And the bench continues to be hugely important to the Edmonton Stingers. Bench points right now 25-9 in favor of Edmonton, and they're getting production from all over the place.
Yeah, they are getting production from all over the place, and you take the leading scorer, Baz Davis, off the bench. He starts, but the bench points come now from Trey King with 16 points off the bench, and they're getting contributions from everyone else. Isaac Jack with 4 as well.
We'll take a look at some of the numbers from the opening half, and certainly what stands out to me, you look at those top 2 lines there. Field goal percentage, Stingers shooting the ball really well, 52%. CEBL's not horrible, but from the 3-point line, Winnipeg has had a tough night.
Yeah, for a team that leads the league almost 40% from 3 in their last 5 games, they are shooting about half of that right now. They've had some good looks, and especially Isaiah Osborne and Teddy Allen. Those are guys you would expect to knock those shots down, but for whatever reason, they're not finding the bottom of the net. Stingers have taken advantage of that, but I'm sure the CEBLs, it's the simplest thing in the world. You got to put the ball through the net, and that's what they've got to do coming out of the half.
Well, and the other number I'll note, 17 free throw attempts already for the Stingers. They average 18 a game.
Yes.
So they're getting to the line tonight. So that's a good sign if you're a fan of the Edmonton Stingers. We're going to step out again and be back to set up things for the second half from here in Edmonton. It's the Stingers and the CEBLs, with the Stingers up by 9 here at the break. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
SportsTire.com.
I am here with the Sea Bears head coach, Mike Rainbow. Mike, obviously a tough start for your team, but you called a timeout, had a little talking to for your players, and they seem to respond well for 10 minutes. What changed?
I just think, for us on the road, we got to try to impact the ball a little bit more. We're maybe not necessarily in the rhythm of the game, but we're going to have to find a way to get some better engagement and make some hustle plays and try to find some of the 50-50s, and we have to earn it.
Teddy Allen was starting to heat up there in the second quarter. What does having a superstar like that mean for your team?
I think the thing with Teddy is he's doing a great job of letting the game come to him. I mean, I think we could have done a better job of putting him in some situations where he had an advantage, and we probably have to play through him a little bit more in the second half.
The Stingers have 25 points off the bench, a lot of depth. How do you defend that?
I think we got depth too. We just have to match their energy and enthusiasm, and we got to make things a little bit more difficult.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Good luck in the third. Back to you, Doug, Patrick.
Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, you certainly hear it from Mike Rainbow. I think he knows he's in a good fight here tonight with Edmonton, and these teams have met twice already. Winnipeg winning a very tight one earlier in the season, then a bit of a blowout a couple of weeks back. So an Edmonton team right now that seems to have a confidence level that's certainly greater than where it's been, but a Winnipeg team that, again, has been one of the best teams in the league all year long.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Edmonton confidence you talk about, it comes naturally when you win 4 games, including just an incredible comeback against Saskatoon a couple of games ago. So that definitely feels into that. But Winnipeg, this has been a team, they're 6-2 in their last 8 games, but they are, for whatever reason, a little bit of a, struggle on the road. They're 3-5 away from home, where they're 6-0 on the season. So maybe something to do with it, but you also have several players who are very familiar with the Expo Center on that Sea Bears bench as well, and they did win here to open the year.
Let's take a look, Patrick, at your players to watch and what they did in the first half, and it's Jeremiah Tillman Jr. and Trey King.
Well, Tillman, it's kind of a tale of two players. Both impacted the game a lot, but Tillman, because of foul trouble, only able to play 5:48, but what a 5:48 that was. 6 points, 5 rebounds, a block as well. So he's just got to be as simple as stay on the court. And he's been excellent in that time. He has scored 6 points after having just 12 points in his last 4 games combined. Now, Trey King, he's got 16 points, tied for the lead of every player in the game, as well as 4 rebounds. Those are both above his seasonal averages, and he's only played 1 half, and he's coming off the bench. So Trey King has been outstanding. Tillman just needs to stay on the court.
And let's take a look at our red tag path to the playoffs update. And here's how the CEBL standings shape up right now. We've talked a little bit about the fact that, for a while, you look at Scarborough, what they've been doing in the East. They're running away with the East right now. And in the West, Winnipeg and Vancouver seem to be edging away from everyone else. This 4-game winning streak, though, has brought Edmonton back into that conversation. Saskatoon, of course, still in that mix. Calgary, with a win today, get their second on the season. So trying to stay in that range of keeping themselves in the playoff conversation. But it's been a really interesting season. 2-time defending champion Niagara sitting right now out of a playoff spot.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild how this is kind of shaping up, and you got the with the new playoff format, it's a little bit of an incentive there too, and it's just, this is anybody's, especially in the West, that is anybody's game. If Edmonton would hold on and win here today, we're talking about 3 teams that are within about a game and a half of each other with roughly half the season to play. You can't, if you're a CEBL administrator or just a fan of the league in general, you can't ask for anything better than that, because night in, night out, it's very up in the air what you're going to see.
Of course, top 4 this year in each conference make the playoffs. No championship weekend unlike we've seen in years prior. So the opportunity for teams to host 1, maybe 2 playoff games in their own conference.
Just want to make a quick stat correction. We found out at the half, Tay Donald actually now with 4 fouls. That is massive. That technically picked up was actually his 4th. So Tay Donald, you imagine you wouldn't see him for long. That's a big loss to the depth.
And a player that, as we talked about, has certainly come on, has played very, very well throughout most of the season, I think, especially over the course of the last couple of weeks. So likely not to see him for a little bit. Baz Davis Jr. Good extra little hesitation there, and then finds the cutting Isaac Jack for the layup.
he's playing with 3 fouls as well as Baz. It's imperative they get at least 5 or 6 good minutes without that 4th foul. Imagine if you're the Sea Bears and try to switch Teddy Allen onto him. That's how he picked up foul number 3.
Osborne corner. Aycott with the 3. Hornsby, nice bounce pass to Bandemel. Tiptoes the baseline and then dribbles his way back up top. Finds Hornsby as these two just play back and forth in the most roundabout way possible. And then the up and under finger roll for Nick Hornsby.
That's a very smart play. Tillman knows he's playing with those 2 fouls. Only played under 6 minutes in that first half. Doesn't want to pick up an early third. Hornsby knew it and took advantage.
Teddy Allen against Bandemel, and they're going to get the foul on Bandemel. That'll be his second, team's first here in the 3rd quarter. Take a look here at the work from Nick Hornsby. A little hesitation, and there, just up, and I'll see you later. And Allen, who is creating dents, I think, at the free throw line with how many times he's been there so far in this ball game to this point.
1 field goal made, but that was free throw number 9, excuse me. Now 10.
12 points for Allen. And the vast majority of those at the free throw line. Ashton Langford, jump shot won't go, rebound Allen.
Here it comes.
And right to the hoop, and you knew this is where they were going to want to go. You heard Mike Rainbow say that, get the ball into his hands. Davis Jr. gets underneath Isaiah Osborne, who will pick up the foul.
Slow to get up there is Isaiah. I think if you're the Stingers, the one thing you might want to do, Allen is sitting on 2 fouls. You're starting to see him pick up. Not the worst idea to try to isolate him against a Baz or against a Nick Hornsby in the low block or something like that. Try to get him in his 3rd foul.
Boz Davis Jr. at the foul line. He's been a big part of the Stingers' recent success, bringing the energy at both ends of the court. He's been averaging 14 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. The way he is stretching the court and the passion he's been playing with has been really fun to watch. This is his first season in the CEBL. He's made quite an impression early on here in Edmonton.
Leads this team in field goal attempts per game at 12 coming in. And table heard timeout. Jordan Baker, I think, said 5 out. Horn went, and I think we're good. We'll just start all over again.
Come up with a different play call, I guess.
That's right. Osborne looks to be okay, maybe favoring a little bit that left leg. Allen pull up 3 goes, and that ability, the quick release, even if you're there and have a hand in his face, he's still getting a good look off. Hornsby goes right to the rim, and then Isaac Jack just gets a hand and deflected up and over. Now here is McGowan's. Bandemel with the assignment on Allen. Lob inside to Tillman Jr., who rattles that one home. And this 3rd quarter starting off a little bit like we saw in the first.
Yep.
Jack backing in Aycott. Yep. And to be an offensive foul on Isaac Jack for a hold on Emmanuel Aycott.
Good idea, have the size advantage, but you can see that a mile away. That's okay. Isaac's still developing that low post game, but he's such a threat off that pick and roll. Love the hustle. You just saw the tip in. I think that was, take a quick look at the stat sheet, but that was offensive rebound number 3 of the day on that tip in.
8 points, 6 rebounds so far for Isaac Jack, whose minutes have just steadily gone up game to game. Here's Allen. the lane going at Jack. Jack gets a hand on that, and it's going to be out of bounds. No, they're going to say it's off of Teddy Allen and out. But Isaac Jack may have gotten a piece of that to deflect it out of bounds.
He absolutely did.
Okay, so I'm not seeing things.
You're not.
Okay, I'm not seeing things. That's good to know.
That was a great play, though. Again, kept those hands high. You don't want to lean down. You're 6'11" with long arms. No need to lean.
Vandemel 3 doesn't drop. Here's Allen up the floor. This Western Conference game is presented by Cal Tire. And we are going to get another foul call.
It's 3 on Ashton Langford.
Trayvon Scott will check in for Jeremiah Tillman Jr. And now Trey King will come in for Isaac Jack and Nuga for Ashton Langford with those 3 fouls.
Now with Davis, Baz Davis still out there, it's really difficult at this time of the game to have 2 perimeter defenders in serious foul trouble out there when you're dealing with this kind of backboard. I think that's a sub out of necessity.
Gowans explodes to the rim. Shot altered, and the ball ends up out of bounds as Acott tried to deflect it away from Nick Hornsby, but swatted it right out of bounds.
Welcome back, Trey King, though. He's on the floor for 10 seconds and makes that play. Outstanding. Still not picked up a foul. Most foul-prone player in the league.
Davis Jr. with a huge take. Goes right through the arms of Isaiah Osborne and draws the foul on Osborne, and will have a chance for an extra one at the line. See, Davis Jr.'s space opens for him. He deals with the contact from Osborne and finishes, and now earns a chance at the line. And he connects.
They've been looking for that guard that kind of can create something for himself, and he's been that. And 2 target score winners in the last 3 games, and he made the play that led to the winner against Vancouver the other day as well. Clutch, but also showing up here in the middle of the game as well. Now a tough assignment.
They clear out for him. Allen steps back, has to give it up. Here's Acott. Step back, and it goes for Emmanuel Acott. Big shot for him. Is a 45% three-point shooter. Vandemel looking against Allen, and there's that 3rd foul on Teddy Allen.
That is massive. 6:07 in the 3rd quarter. See if he comes out. If so, we'll mark it down. He's smart, though. He'll stay out.
So that's 3 on Osborne, 3 now on Allen. Allen stays in the game. Osborne does not. Simon Hildebrand in, so they go a little bigger. The Stingers have gone a little smaller here. Hornsby to his left. Spin. A little short. Deflects into the hands of McGowans, who will slow things up.
He was expecting contact, never came.
Zips it ahead. Thought he had Hildebrand cutting to the rim. Gets stripped and stolen away, and that one turned over the other way. And now a 4-on-1 for Winnipeg. And if you're going to foul Teddy Allen, you got to foul him hard. You can't let him get the shot off. And Nuga takes the foul and gives up the basket.
Yeah, it's a tough one. He's trying to prevent that shot from getting up. As you said, you got to be stronger than that, or just let him go. 4-on-1, it's basically a done deal.
It's going to come right at you, this 4-on-1. And I mean, look, when you see it from that, I mean, I'm not sure what else you can do if you're Nuga. I mean, it's maybe a bit critical of me to say that you got to make sure, but nonetheless, you got to go for the ball. Just try to get a hand across the ball first. But hey, that's one of about 9,000 reasons why I'm sitting here and I'm not playing in this game. Mike Dugan knows a lot more than I do.
Shot starting to not fall for Edmonton. Good looks here, but kind of like the Sea Bears in the first half.
Allen, long 3, and that one off the back iron. Defensive rebound for Edmonton. And then up the floor quickly, Baz Davis Jr. could not turn and put that one up. Fine Hornsby, guarded by McGowans. Those two former teammates here in Edmonton. McGowan's, that's going to be a travel on Hornsby. Good job defensively there by Trey McGowan's to keep his feet moving.
Yeah, it was good defense. I like the idea. You have a size mismatch there, but that's a couple times they've been able to kind of stymie those Nick Hornsby drives.
Here's Kraus, guarded closely by Nuga. Scott will hand it off to Allen, guarded by Vanderbilt, to his left. Hasn't stripped out by Emmanuel Vanderbilt.
He's frustrated as Teddy Allen. He wants that foul, but he's not going to get it. It will still be CBears ball.
That's going to send us to a break. Stingers hanging on to a 2-point lead with 4:48 to go here in the third quarter. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Welcome back inside the Edmonton Expo Center, 70-68. The Stingers up on the CBears. Edmonton, your summer plans just got serious. Join us for multiple special edition theme nights throughout the season. Purchase today at thestingers.ca/tickets or by scanning the QR code on your screen. Sarah.
Doug, I've been in 3 CBears timeouts at this point in the game, and this was definitely the most positive one. Coach Rainbow saying, listen, we are playing great together, and it's a lot more fun when we do that.
Definitely makes the game a little bit easier. You can tell a little more fluidity right now to the offense for the CBears. As I say that, they get a shot clock violation, but nonetheless, over the course of this 5+ minutes here in the third, it's been a little steadier, I'd say, offensively for Winnipeg.
Absolutely, and they're taking advantage of. There's a big foul, and that's Teddy Allen's fourth. So now we really, well, scratch everything we're about to say. It's time to really talk about this. That is a massive foul at 4:32 to go in the third quarter. Teddy Allen with 4 fouls.
20 points here in this ball game. You'll see it here. Ball gets swung around. He just tries to. There was really no screen even being set. Just a little bit of traffic by Hornsby, and Allen ran right through it. Picks up his 4th, and Osborne with 3 checks back in. Lob inside. King. Reverse doesn't go. And Burns back the other way for Winnipeg. Osborne, 3 goes for Isaiah Osborne. First lead of the game for Winnipeg.
Yeah, first lead, and that's a good transition. The CBears are off and running. That's what we thought we'd see all game.
Now Hornsby to his left. C's opened up for him, and that little finger roll comes out again. Burns quickly up the floor, leaves it for Osborne, picked up by Nuga. Poked away by Baz Davis Jr., and that's actually, they're going to rule it off of Mason Kraus and out of bounds.
A couple CBears perplexed. The coaching staff, though, seem to see that's a great play. That's controlled aggression from Baz. Still playing with 3 fouls. He's played the entire second half, and they've needed him. But really good job there. Can't have him go out with the 4th right now, but makes a good play, forces a turnover, and a chance to extend this retake lead.
And a couple changes for Mike Rainbow. They'll bring in McGowan's and Acott for Kraus and Hildebrandt. So with Allen on the bench, bringing in a little bit more scoring with McGowans, and now Ashton Langford will check back in. So the chess match continues.
I think maybe that's so Davis doesn't have to guard McGowans with 3 fouls right now.
Ashton Langford to Nuga, 3. A little bit flat. Rebound, Acott. McGowans, screen from Tillman Jr. Now up against Isaac Jack. Kick out, Acott, 3. Goes for Emmanuel Acott, who seems to have something to say after every shot he takes, whether it's to his own bench or somebody else.
Gotta be careful on that technical. I got him in trouble once already.
Ashton Langford, 3 doesn't go. Board for Osborne. CBears trying to build on this 2-point lead. Acott swings it over. Osborne resets. 3 rattles in and out. Thought it might go off the glass and down, but ends up in the hands of Edmonton. Here's Ashton Langford to his left. Off balance shot does not go.
It's 2 bad shots in a row by him. They're out of sync offensively.
Downs to his left. Now underneath Isaac Jack, but that doesn't work. Good job there to alter the shot by the Stingers' big man.
Yeah, he's been terrific inside today. It's the best game I'd say he's probably played, especially defensively.
Vandemel, 3, and like you said, Patrick, the Stingers right now just not getting shots through their offense. It's quick looks early in the shot clock.
It's either that initial ball handler pulling up, or in that case, 1 pass. It's not enough.
And ball deflected out of bounds. Catch all of the exciting basketball from the Canada Life Centre in downtown Winnipeg as part of CBears Summer. Pick up your tickets by visiting cbears.ca/tickets or scan the QR code.
Abdul Muhammad back into the game. He had a really good cameo in the first half. See if they can get more of that here.
Tillman Jr. side of the rim. Now Vandemel. Guarded by Acott. Jack dives. Vandemel, 3 goes. Big shot there for Emmanuel Vandemel and the Stingers trying to get a little bit of rhythm back offensively.
And you got to take advantage right now with Teddy Allen out. The CBears in this early going have outscored the Stingers by 1 without him, but you got to put a little bit of breathing room before number 8 gets back on the court.
Acott on the floor, pull-up jumper goes. Emmanuel Acott having himself a nice game here. He's got 20 points.
Yeah, he's been very assertive, filling that role with Allen on the bench.
Langford gets one to go. Back and forth we go. Stingers with a 1-point lead.
This is what we thought we'd see the entire game, and they've settled in nicely now offensively in this 3rd quarter.
Screen. Now swung over Acott. 3. That one will not drop for him. Jack with the board. Nuga explodes to the rim.
Great box out by McGowans on the other side. Muhammad wanted to tip that back in. McGowans, much smaller, kept him away.
Acott will draw the foul here on Isaac Jack and head to the line, but just that little bit of space, and Mike Nuga blew right through it. And like you said, great box up by McGowans as Abdul Muhammad, who played 3 minutes in the first half, had 3 points, 3 defensive rebounds. Tried to pick up an offensive one there, but was derailed by Trey McGowans.
I want to give a shout out. We talked about him, but Acott now especially. This is a guy who he's averaging a little under 9 a game, but this is a guy who scored in double figures, 3rd leading scorer for Boise State in 2021-22. If you're a fan of the college game down south, you might remember they were a nationally ranked team that year, won the Mountain West Championship, both the conference regular season and the tournament, and they went into the NCAA tournament where he scored in double figures in that game. So right on cue, the announcers jinx, he misses the free throw, but he's been assertive, and they've needed him. McGowans hasn't really made much of an impact, and with Allen in foul trouble, Acott has kind of turned into that go-to scorer.
One of a number of CBears that are back this season after having played last year. Acott, Kraus, Bilamu, Filowich, Kyler Filowich, who's not playing tonight, Trayvon Scott, Hildebrandt, Teddy Allen. course, Teddy Allen not last year, but previously with the Sea Bears, so lots of returning players to this Winnipeg roster. Some pro time in Poland and the Netherlands as well for Acott. McGowan's. McCoy into the game for Edmonton. That lob looking for Acott, well out of the reach of Emmanuel Acott.
Stingers got to make sure this is the last shot. They kind of blew an opportunity of that in the first quarter. They can't. Worst case, you got to go into the fourth quarter tied where we are now.
John McCoy in the game for Edmonton. Ashton Langford, one-on-one with Acott, pulls up three, well short. And we are going to head to the third quarter break tied at 77, probably exactly where we should be for how this game has gone. Two teams looking to make some strides in the Western Conference. And we've got a great fourth quarter coming up. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Back to the Edmonton Expo Center, and it's now time for the cruise of the game presented by Cal Tire. There's the steal, the break, and the dunk for Baz Davis Jr. Says a little hello to our camera. And they might need a little bit more of that 77 all as we head to the fourth quarter.
Now, Patrick mentioned it earlier, but Trey McGowan's is back on, former Edmonton Stinger. He is hunting down a franchise record for the Sea Bears when it comes to assists. He's averaging 5 assists a game, and he only needs 2 now to surpass Justin Wright-Foreman and set a single season record for most assists in a campaign in Winnipeg.
Stat line tonight for McGowan's 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 turnovers. And he's got 1 foul. Foul's an issue for numerous other players. Burns. Little turnaround jumper doesn't go. McCoy with the board.
Tay Donald back onto the court for the first time in the half with those 4 first half fouls.
Muhammad remains in the game. Here's Donald. And it's going to be a hold.
Calling that on Donald? They're pointing the other way. Now, if that's the case, that's 5. Or are they calling it off ball? Okay, so they're not. It's not on Donald.
McCoy. So that's his first, team's first here in the fourth quarter.
There was a real battle going on there between McCoy and McGowan's. Had McGowan's arm all wrapped up.
Kraus leaves it for Scott. Tillman Jr. against McCoy. Nice work to go underneath McCoy. Give the Seabears a 2-point edge. Here's Baz Davis Jr.
Hard to believe it's the largest Seabears lead of the game, just their second.
Pull up Davis Jr. That one's short. And McGowan's up the floor.
Davis indicating I got a piece of it, and I think Tillman just picked up his third foul well off the ball.
Yeah, he and Davis Jr. battling underneath. Well, my eyes were looking far elsewhere on the floor, and suddenly the whistle goes, and you see Davis Jr. on the floor.
That's big though, because otherwise that's 4 on Baz. Stingers can't afford that. Still no Teddy Allen back either.
Davis Jr. That's going to be an offensive foul.
That is 4 on Davis. Yeah, be careful. He wants to talk to the ref. You don't want to pick up your 5th via a technical.
And Vandemel's going to come in for Davis Jr. So Gallons hit the floor.
It's certainly going to be an interesting last few minutes. Both these teams have so many players at the 3 and 4 foul mark right now, including a lot of key names.
Osborne, one of the players with 3, gets around Muhammad with the right hand, lays it in. Allen about to check back in for Winnipeg. Hornsby, shot doesn't go. Gowans, ball deflected there by Hornsby in transition defensively.
Well, we wanted to know how they would do without Teddy Allen, and he sat for just over 6 minutes, and they actually have outscored the Stingers by 6 points with Allen on the bench. So great job by the Seabears from weathering what could have been a really difficult period for them. A lot of that coming from Aycott.
Aycott from long range. Very good here in this game. Kraus, not so much on that one. Board into the hands of Donald. Aycott 4 of 6 from the 3-point line here in this game. It's been a big factor, especially in that third quarter. Quarter where the Stingers shot 35%. Here's Jack. Little jump hook short, and then the push off by Allen, and he gets away with one there. Jack gets the ball back. Vandemel for Jack, off the window and in. Isaac Jack mad at himself that he missed the first one.
He just helped his teammates get a couple of steals in there for the assist. So
Gowans up the floor quickly, and a foul will be called. We'll see who this one goes on.
I think the frustration's coming that he was called well after the play was over. Definitely a foul though.
The Gowans did a really good job getting the ball up the floor quickly into dangerous areas, and you can see Muhammad a little frustrated.
It was
the hold. Yep, agreed. And today, this is actually the first leg of a home-and-home series between these two teams as they'll head to the Canada Life Centre in Winnipeg for their next game. These two teams will face off on Thursday. You can catch the action at 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain.
Tillman with that made free throw. That's finally first one there, 1 for 4. Not a great free throw shooter, not his strength, but still good to see that one go through.
Nuga into the game. Finds King. He's back in for Jordan Baker. Looking pounds on the floor. Nice pass to find Hornsby. Donald goes up and draws Hildebrand into the air. He'll pick up the foul, and that will put Tay Donald on the line.
Great drive there by Tay. Really good ball movement to set that up. There's a lot of chasing going on by the Seabears, and ends up with a chance at the line. Donald's got to hit these, though. You feel just the way this game has gone as we edge closer to target score. You don't want more than a 2 or 3 point deficit, especially with how the kind of guard play that the Sea Bears have that can really help close this out.
Donald, a 65% free throw shooter. As mentioned, played this past season in Finland. Nice year there for him. 37 games played, just over 14 points a game. But with those 4 fouls, he's going to take a seat. There's a bit of a laugh with Aycott, who I think a little bit of a funny moment in a game that's had some tense moments too. Of course, first free throw hit, all the Stinger teammates come in to give him a little high five. Aycott comes in as well. Gives a little high five. They both had a bit of a chuckle over it, so that's good. Maybe a little bit of levity in a game that has seen 2 teams battle pretty hard. Allen, nice spin around Bandamel, a little strong off the backboard, and here's Bandamel. Finds a streaking Trey King, lays it up and in. And the Stingers back in front by a point.
I believe that's just the second, if not either the first or second bucket that Trey King's had after 16 in that first half. Been quiet, but that's a big one.
Traylon Scott swings it over. Aycott for 3. Looked at 3 and then put it on the floor, I should say. Hornsby will look to push it. Off the glass, King tried to deflect it. Great hustle. And on the rebound, a foul call. And that will go on Emmanuel Aycott. And Trey King kind of went to the floor a little bit awkward. That one leg of his kind of bent awkwardly. Looks to be fine, but you always worry a little bit in those situations where you get bent like that on your way down, but appears to be just fine.
It's always those little innocuous off-ball plays that seem to have the worst impact on you. Fortunate, especially the way he's playing today, that he is okay.
3rd foul on Aycott. Ashton Langford. Fadeaway jumper will not go. Rebound to McGowan's. Allen at Bandamel, and the basket counts. And Teddy Allen to the free throw line.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see. Teddy Allen, they got him out in transition with some momentum there, and that's just a lose-lose situation for any defender. Bandamel's a great defensive guard, but there's not many who's going to stop number 8 with that kind of head of steam, and he made him pay.
It's a classic line you hear from coaches at all ages: stop the ball. It did not happen.
He needs no help getting to the basket. Be a fun target score the rate we're going, though.
Teddy Allen with 23 to lead all scorers. Strips it away from King. Layup and in. Timeout, Jordan Baker.
That's a needed timeout. Teddy Allen has taken over, and a couple of plays there that I think the Stingers might be asking for that 5th foul, but you can only play with what's in front of you, and number 8's making no bones about it. He making up for lost time when he sat half of this half, and has made an impact in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, and has been now 25 points, and Edmonton's done a pretty decent job all game long, even on these runs from Winnipeg. And you and I were talking in preparation for this broadcast that it's been a challenge for the Stingers all season. Situations where they just let teams get on big runs, and it's not for 2-3 minutes, it's 5, 6, 7 minutes. In this game against an outstanding offensive team, the 2nd best offensive team in the league in Winnipeg, they haven't allowed the stretches of a run. I think that's why we saw that timeout. What has Edmonton done to limit that, and what can they do here now with Teddy Allen really heating up?
I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to one, shot making, but they're really doing a good job of limiting the turnovers that can kind of compound those. Heading into this quarter, they were at just 9 turnovers, and I mentioned in the pregame they turned it over 41 times in the 2 previous matchups, so they've done a much better job taking care of the ball. That last play notwithstanding, that led to that breakout, but they've taken care of the ball. I mean, it sounds simple, but it really helps. You don't need to help a team with Winnipeg that has this kind of talent, and the Stingers, for the most part, haven't given those extra possessions away. I think that's been a big role.
4 turnovers already in this quarter for Edmonton. So you mentioned the 9 through 3 quarters, already 4 here in the 4th.
And a lot of that with the foul trouble with a lot of these guards. Baz Davis, McDonald in foul trouble. That's got to be playing a role.
And Winnipeg 14 points off of those 13 Edmonton turnovers. Ashton Langford, left hand. Nice take there by Ashton Langford. You can sort of get the sense he's trying to find some rhythm himself offensively.
Yeah, you can
finally
see
gets one to fall.
There's a lot of trust being placed in him right now with this kind of creative scoring with Baz and others off the bench, and needed to see that fall. But you can see he's going to be a player for the Stingers down the back half of the season.
Gallons. Vandemel on him. Floor cleared. Goes underneath. Shot won't go. Tipped up. And then tipped away by Ashton Langford. Nice play by him to Vandemel, who's up the floor. Goes at Osborne. Has the ball stripped away and then turns it over into the hands of McGowan. And now here's Acott up the floor. Allen under the rim. Puts it in. 4-point Winnipeg lead. Ashton Langford crossover. Holds up, shot won't go. Rebound there for Trayvon Scott.
Yeah, you take that one though, get into the lane. You had a rebounder with him. That one you don't hate too much. I like that he's trying to make things happen in the absence of these league guards.
Allen looking for the clear out. Working against Vandemel. Just goes right at the rim. No help coming. Tough matchup there for Vandemel.
No help.
6-point lead for Winnipeg. Next stoppage will set the target score. And there's the foul. Acott will pick up his 4th. That is going to send us to target score time. The target score will be an even 100. First to the century mark wins. 91-85. The Sea Bears up on the Stingers. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime. Oh, and it goes. Nick Hornsby. Here's Oakland for the win. You gotta love a Canadian boost. Two hands. Oh, what a block from behind.
Next bucket wins. Target score time is the best time of a game. The energy, the drama.
That anything can happen. Oh my goodness! Can you believe this guy?
Big players step up in big time.
He is cooking.
It's a 6-point lead for the Winnipeg Sea Bears on the Edmonton Stingers here from Hall D at the Edmonton Expo Center. Doug McLean along with Patrick Erickson and Sarah Ryan. And it's the race to 100 now. And Winnipeg, who didn't take their first lead until deep into this basketball game, now with a 6-point edge and clear momentum heading into target score.
Yeah, clear momentum. I said I really didn't want it to get beyond like that one possession or so. And here with that last basket from Allen, and then that Wise foul is always the beginning of target score. It's now a 6-point lead. It's not insurmountable. We certainly saw a much more difficult comeback completed by these Stingers just 2 games ago against Saskatoon, but they certainly have their work cut out, and getting the ball out of Teddy Allen's hands has got to be first and foremost priority.
Vandemel, he doesn't go.
Gotta hit that. That was a great look, great play by Donald.
Osborne, step back 3, strong. In the hands of Hornsby. Hornsby up the floor. Tried to draw some contact, no call. Now here's Allen. Fadeaway jumper goes for Teddy Allen.
Some of them you don't like. That one you tip your cap.
Yeah.
That is a shot maker's shot right there. That was great defense by Donald. And Stingers are going to get bailed out by a foul here. That was just That's why he's the leading scorer in the league, shots like that.
Yeah, he was a lone sea bear down there by himself. And a fadeaway from the short corner, and no problem for Teddy Allen. And now the foul here on Trey McGowan's.
Bonus time is always helpful.
Both teams in the penalty, so Baz Davis Jr. to the line for a pair. He's that one 4-4 at the line on the night.
Now you need to get a stop here. You don't have much to play with, but still with a chance.
Amazingly, nobody has fouled out yet in this basketball game, despite the number of players with big-time foul numbers. King lucky he didn't pick up one there himself. Here's Aycott. Stutter step, free throw jump shot goes for Emmanuel Aycott. He's had himself a really nice night.
Yeah, he is. Made a great move on a great defender and hangs in the air and shipping away.
Donald, big three for Edmonton. Trail 95-90.
How with that shot, you gotta, I mean, you can always, the what ifs are always part of sports, but you gotta wonder if Tay Donald doesn't pick up those 4 fouls, especially those 2 late in that first half. If he plays even 4 or 5 minutes of the third quarter, where we might be, but that's a big shot for someone who had to sit a long time.
Gowans did everything but finish at the layup.
Well, it did enough.
Vandemel, 3, doesn't go. Offensive rebound. Davis Jr. puts it back up to outbattle Teddy Allen.
I mean, it's clutch time. It's David's time. This is where he shines. 2 target score winners. And the play that led to it in the last 3 Stingers games. That's not one of those, but it's put the Stingers right back to a 1-possession game.
And a turnover out. Here's Davis Jr. working on Aycott. Nice move to get underneath Aycott. Timeout Mike Rainbow as the Stingers battled their way back to trail by 1.
Oh, that's great defense there, and that's Teddy Allen trying to do a little bit too much. You can understand it. He's such a good player, but sometimes the defense forces you to give the ball up. He didn't, and the Stingers take full advantage. Credit to them, though. They missed a couple of shots. It kind of looked like it was just going to be kind of one of those hi-ho 4 to 6 point game to the end, and it's a 1-point game. And not for the first time on this winning streak, the Stingers have really showed up well in target score. It's a testament to Coach Baker. It's a testament to leaders like Nick Hornsby and some of these newer faces that the Stingers haven't rolled over when momentum has definitely been against them, especially in the fourth quarter.
Mentioned Teddy Allen just having, again, a fantastic second half. He's got 31 points right now. But Emmanuel Aycott, 23 points, came into this game averaging 8.8. He's been fantastic here so far tonight. Aycott, 9 of 13 from the field, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. He's got 6 rebounds as well, but does have 4 fouls. So just look at the fouls. I'll do that while we're talking numbers here. 4 for Aycott, 4 for Allen, 3 for Osborne, 3 for Tillman. For the Stingers, Tay Donald and Baz Davis Jr. along with Vandemel all have 4.
Yeah, you don't want it to come down to it, but I mean, it might be first team to lose a key contributor to a foul out.
Sorry, let me just correct myself. Vandemel's got 3, not 4, so I stand correct. I'm looking at the one wrong column there. Nick Hornsby has drawn 5 fouls. He has 0 himself so far in this game.
I think Trey King's foul is as well. The leading fouler in the league has done a great job of staying out of it.
Allen, little runner, nice soft touch from just beyond the free throw line with 2 Stingers right in his face.
Yeah, another tip your cap moment there. Donald and Vandemel doing all they could. Allen's just very, very good at basketball. Donald.
Hornsby nearly lost it. Spins inside, working on Aycott, gets underneath him, and a nice roll. Great patience from teams on both sides, just able to get those defenders frozen, and then the ability to work into open space. You've seen that both ways all night long. Allen Bandamel go at it. And Allen's going to earn himself a trip to the line.
I want to take it on. I mean, there's no challenge in there. That was a good contest. Fans not happy, but hard to see from my angle where that was. And it was that Baz? That might have been Baz.
That's on Bandamel, it looks like.
Yep.
So
Saw the eight go up.
That is his fourth.
How many players can we get to 4 fouls without a foul out? That's the game. It's a good thing if this was a traditional game where you're fouling to try to kill the clock, if there wasn't the target score, you'd have nobody out there to get the fouls.
Allen hits the first.
If he makes this, it's do or die time on the next offensive possession.
The second. And timeout Edmonton. They trail by 3, but the more important number right now is 1, and that's the 1 point that the Sea Bears need to secure themselves their 10th win of the season.
Yeah, and it would be a big one, and it would be a tough loss for the Stingers, but one thing at a time, and I'm sure that's what Coach Jordan Baker is saying to his huddle right now. You can't worry about having to figure out how to stop it. If you don't score here, you put yourself in a big hole. You got to get, you don't need a 3, get a 2. It's still 1 field goal wins it if you can get that stop. If you can get that basket, I would find every way and humanly possible to somehow keep that ball out of number 8's hands. But much easier said than done.
In the season opening game that was played here between the Sea Bears and the Stingers, Edmonton had a 5.68-63 lead heading into target score time. They were outscored 14-7 by the Sea Bears in target score time. So a 77-75 win. This game, a far more offensive battle than we saw in that opener. But Winnipeg has demonstrated an ability in target score time to just find answers, and they've done that here again, even with that push by Edmonton.
Yeah, I mean, it helps when you have a guy who scores 30 points a game, but I mean, there's a lot more that goes on to that. The guards that create the space to get to the ball, the screens from the bigs, and it's a veteran team, and there's a lot of talent on that team. You got a lot of guys who star in the G League, in the CEBL offseason, and a lot of guys who play together for a while, and it really shows. But as we come here, this is a must score if you're a Stingers.
Davis Jr. goes right at Teddy Allen.
Smart. They know he doesn't want to pick up that 5th foul because this is where the ball's coming. Great play by Baz. Now you got to get the stop.
McGowan's with the ball in his hands, guarded by Donald. Nearly has it poked away. Here's Allen with it. Bandamel on him. The question is, where's the double going to come from? Allen kicks it out. Trayvon Scott, jumper. Short. Rebound into the hands of Allen. Stripped away again.
No foul.
Osborne, 3, and a foul call in the corner.
Yeah, it's just too many opportunities for such a good team. I didn't see the play. It's out of my sight range, but I think that comes down to they didn't get, if that offensive rebound's a killer. They did a great job. They got the ball out of Allen's hands, gave up an open shot, but they gave it up to a player who hasn't had an impact on this game. But that rebound's a killer, and now you got 3 shots.
And that is the 5th on Davis Jr. So it was on the 3 on the miss from Osborne, and it was clear. I mean, again, I'm in the same boat as you. Didn't have a good look because it's right down the scores table from us. We don't have a look at it really at all, and the shot was missed. Timeout called by Edmonton. So it's either it was after he came down or on his way down that the foul was called on Davis Jr.
Yeah, now you got that whole, and for good reason. It might have been a landing area foul. You got to make sure that the player can come down safely. That's a real good way to twist an ankle if you come down on the defender's foot. But, I mean, it's a tough call without seeing it. You trust this veteran officiating crew here, but again, offensive rebounds. You said in the first half. That's why every timeout was called in the first half, and that's a killer right there. It was just one of those long rebounds. I don't even think it was a bad job on Edmonton offensive rebounding, but It's one that, assuming that a very good shooter can knock down 1 or 3 free throws, you're going to circle as a big reason. They had it. They would have had a chance to win it on the other end, but for this offensive rebound.
Yeah, a couple balls on those missed shots, scored it loose, but Edmonton could not get a hand on it. And now Isaiah Osborne with 3 chances at the free throw line. Osborne an 86% free throw shooter. Teddy Allen already lining up to shake hands.
Yep. I mean, you got to have confidence in a guy who shoots 40% from 3 to hit 1 on 3. This would be the ultimate.
There's no lineup.
Can't answer that one for you.
And it rolls in. And the Sea Bears will come away with a 100-98 victory over the Edmonton Stingers.
That's a tough loss if you're Edmonton. They controlled the game for about the first 2.5 quarters, but the Sea Bears, without, as you mentioned, Doug, without that run, that really major run, but they just sort of had a bunch of those little 6-2, 8-3 runs that kind of got them back in, and then 6 points is a little bit too much of a task to overcome in target score. Credit to the Stingers, though, made a heck of a job to get back into it. Just one play away, needing that offensive board right there at the end.
Stingers led for the vast majority of this game, and it just got away from them a little bit in that fourth quarter, and it's always easier said than done. They had Teddy Allen with 4 fouls. Obviously, you can't put your whole game plan around trying to get him out of the game, but that certainly would have made a big difference. And speaking of Teddy Allen, Sarah is joined by our player of the game, presented by Booster Juice. She's got Teddy Allen.
That's right. Thank you, Doug. I am with Teddy, and Teddy tonight, his 35 points gave him 1,500 on his CEBL career. Teddy, this looked like a fun one for you.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. You know, we had to overcome a lot of adversity. I'll give all the praise to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You know, He stayed with us this one. We had to fight, but you know, we pulled it out. I'm proud of my team.
Yeah, talk about that. It was a difficult start for you guys. Got down early, and Coach did not mince words in his first time out, but you really seemed to turn it around. Why did that work for your team so well?
You know, we got a solid group. You know, we got a good group. We got a good group of people and a good group of guys. And Coach just kind of reiterated that at halftime and just told us, you know, we're capable of doing whatever we want to do. So do we want to do it or not? And I think that really hit home.
You're now 3-0 in the season series with the Stingers, solidifying the Sea Bears' spot at the top of the Western Conference. What about this team is gelling at this moment?
Just like I said, we got a high group of character guys, and you know, when you have a group of high character guys that are also high level players, you know, it can work out well. You know, everybody's bought in. You know, coming down to the end of the season stretch. You know, we want that home court in the playoffs.
Absolutely, I bet you do. Teddy, congratulations again.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yo, happy birthday, Ramona. I love you. Enjoy it. That's all.
You've got to let the MVP say that. Thank you. Congratulations, Teddy. We are going to take a quick break. You're watching CEBL basketball on YouTube, CBC Gem, and CEBL Plus. The Sea Bears taking this one 100, Stingers 98. Very close one.
Welcome back inside the Edmonton Expo Center. It's a 100-98 victory for the Winnipeg CEBL over the Edmonton Stingers. CEBL earned their 10th win of the season. Stingers' 4-game winning streak comes to an end. In a game, Patrick, in which the Stingers controlled a lot of it. Teddy Allen got going. Jordan Baker said that in the opening. He said he's going to get his points. It's a matter of how you manage everybody else. Players like Emmanuel Acott, though, a huge factor here tonight.
Yeah, Acott was great, and we talked about when Teddy Allen went out with his 4th foul mid-third quarter, the CEBL actually outscored the Stingers by 5 points, and that's a lot of credit to Emmanuel Acott. I talked about secondary scoring, 23 points for Emmanuel Acott, and somewhat unsung hero today because without that effort, they might not have been in that position there to hold off that late Stingers rally.
So for the Stingers, I think they're going to, I mean, you're disappointed, of course, but you're going to feel okay, I think, about how you played against one of the better teams in the league.
I think you absolutely are okay. I mean, before the 4-game winning streak was another loss to the CEBL of a much different variety, a blowout loss in Winnipeg. And now you come here and control most of the game, only lose by 2. A lot you can hang your hat on, a lot to build on here, I think, for Coach Baker and the Stingers.
The next CEBL broadcast is a Cal Tire Western Conference Tuesday night showcase between the Vancouver Bandits and the Saskatoon Mamba in what could be a playoff preview. Tip-off is at 7:30 p.m. Central from Merlis Belcher Place. You can catch the action on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. So the Stingers fall, and we'll take a look at some of the highlights from this basketball game here today. And again, we mentioned this game had roller coasters all over the place. Really hot start for both teams, real fast pace. That went away for a bit, got a little chippy in stretches. But hey, these are two good teams. And as you just said, I think for the Stingers, as much as you're disappointed in the loss, if you're looking long term over the course of the rest of July into August in the playoffs, you can pull some things out of this game that I think, and especially once you get the players like Ashton Langford fully built into this roster, some things you can really, I think, take into what could, hopefully for them, for the Stingers' sake, be a long playoff run.
Yeah, I think so. And if they do get Dane Danger back, who's currently down at the NBA Summer League, that's a big boon. But they were looking for league guards, and I think Ashton Langford could be one of those guys who can create that. And certainly the way that Baz Davis Jr. has been going, you're starting to see that shot creation that they've been missing. And I definitely think this could very easily be a playoff preview, and it's a playoff preview that could go either way if this does manifest itself at some point.
Certainly for the Stingers, some positive signs. Another good crowd here at the Edmonton Expo Center, but a tough one as they fall 100-98 in this game. As Teddy Allen, we're seeing obviously a lot of him in these highlights. Yeah. And then Isaiah Osborne at the end, finishing things off with the free throw. And that's going to do it for us here today. A 198 victory, as we said, the CEBL over Edmonton. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks on behalf of Sarah Ryan, Patrick Erickson, and our whole crew. We'll see you later on from here in Edmonton.
Knock 'em out the run, knock 'em out the run, knock 'em out the run with the pet top time for some action.